Welcome everyone, Stevie here with a new Max for Live device from Heaps of Bleeps called Dual MIDI Freeze. This device allows you to freeze two separate channels of MIDI and then allows you to interact with that frozen MIDI in various ways, either with these trigger, mute, and clear buttons, or with your sustain pedal, or with notes from the other MIDI channel. So this device is 5 sections, the A and B MIDI channels on the sides, this global section up here, which controls how your pedal works and which channel your notes are being sent to. This note trigger section below it, which controls how the channels interact with each other if you want them to. And this MIDI display at the bottom here, which just helps you keep track of what is going on with the device. So here at the top, you can see that MIDI is now being sent to channel A, and so is the pedal. And channel A is now frozen with this freeze toggle here. So now as I play notes into channel A, they will be frozen. Freezing works by holding all overlapping notes together. Once all notes are let go and there is a space, the next played note or set of overlapping notes will replace the currently frozen notes. This is similar to my sostenuto freeze pedal, which you may be familiar with. So yeah, so when I play a chord here, you can see the input MIDI up here, by the way. So when I play a chord and I let go, the next chord will be held. But if I hold the chord, all the MIDI that is playing during that held chord will be held with it. So let's clear it, or let's mute it with this thing. So yeah, all the notes can be triggered, muted, or cleared with either these buttons on either side, the MIDI from the other channel, or with your sustain pedal if it's in trigger mode here. So yeah, now that it's in trigger mode, when I press it down, because down is on T and up is on M, which is for mute, or trigger and mute respectively. So when I press it down, it's going to trigger, and when I lift it up, it'll mute. So sorry, let me get some more pleasant MIDI in there. So yeah, this is a nice way to, you can play notes with your foot while inputting MIDI to the other channel or something like that. So now, to go over other ways we can retrigger this MIDI here, I'm going to send my notes to channel B here. And because this is set to B trig A, that means that notes being sent from, to channel B are going to trigger channel A. So I put it so the notes on are going to trigger it and notes off are going to mute it. So and whereas if I were to do the other way around, note offs mute it, you could get kind of like a monophonic retriggering kind of thing, but with polyphonic possibility. So you see how that could work. These parameters here just control whether it's the first or last note on or off of the overlapping notes, or if it's every single one. Depending on your circumstances, you might want one or the other. So now to go over some different pedal modes. So let's go over these first 3 modes first. Your pedal can be sent to A, to B, to notes, which is just wherever your notes are being sent. So in this case, it would be B because it's on B. So when it's on any of these modes, it can do the trigger thing that we already saw, or it can also do a hold mode, which means that when you're holding down the pedal, it will be as if you're still holding down some notes. So that means the new notes you play will be added to the already held notes instead of replacing them, even if there's a space. So let's trigger these again. Switch this to A, and then I'm going to hold the pedal down. So you can see that these new notes are added. And now if I trigger it again, it'll be with it. The other pedal modes can be used to switch which channel MIDI is sent to. So pressing the pedal down can either switch from A to B or from B to A, depending on which one you have. A couple other things to note, every parameter also has its own info text to help you understand what they do if you forget. It's compatible with push. Also, when you have some frozen notes that you want to keep, if you hit this save button here, it'll save the notes. So when you reopen the device, they'll be saved in. And yeah, that about does it for the device. I'll be releasing some new devices soon. So yeah, keep an eye out for those. Bye.